Stop being weak. Stop letting your emotions own you. Every time you lose control, you give away your power, and that's why your life feels stuck. This audiobook is your blueprint to take that power back. You're going to learn how to stop reacting, stop explaining, and stop chasing peace outside yourself. The real strength you crave, calm, control, and clarity, comes from mastering your emotions like a weapon. From this moment on, weakness dies here. You either take command of your mind, or it will continue to command you. Chapter 1. Control your mind, or it will control you. You wake up every day with one battle ahead of you, the battle for your mind. Not the world. Not your job. Not your friends. Your mind. Because if you don't control your mind, it will control you. And when your mind controls you, you lose everything: focus, peace, direction, and power. Listen carefully. Emotional control is not optional, it's survival. Every outburst, every breakdown, every moment you react without thought, it's proof that your emotions own you. And if your emotions own you, your life is no longer yours. Think about the soldier in chaos. Bullets flying. Smoke everywhere. Heart pounding. He doesn't scream. He doesn't panic. He breathes. He observes. He executes. That's mastery. That's control. Control the mind. Command the moment. Control the mind. Command the moment. Because that's what mental strength looks like: calm under chaos. Not because the situation is easy, but because the mind is disciplined. You've been taught to chase comfort, to express every emotion, to vent, to unload. But nobody told you what that really does. It weakens you. It conditions your mind to rule you. Every time you lash out, complain, or spiral, you give up control. Control is built through restraint. Restraint in the face of anger. Restraint when fear takes over. Restraint when your ego demands validation. You don't need to react. You don't need their approval. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone who misunderstands you. Control the mind. Command the moment. Understand this: emotions are not enemies. They're signals. But if you obey every signal, you become a slave. When you feel fear, observe it. When you feel anger, analyze it. When you feel pain, sit with it, don't drown in it. Because emotions are information. They tell you something about your environment. But they are not instructions. You have a choice: to act with discipline or react with chaos. To pause or explode. To stay focused or fall apart. That's the key. Here's what most people don't realize: the world is not testing your intelligence. It's testing your emotional endurance. When things don't go your way, your mind starts whispering, "You're losing. You're failing. You're not enough." And if you listen, if you believe that voice, it owns you. You need to silence it. Not by shouting over it, but by commanding it. Say it again: control the mind. Command the moment. Because when you master that inner dialogue, you win battles nobody else even sees. Let's make this real. You're stuck in traffic, late, frustrated, boiling inside. Most people curse, honk, and blame. You breathe. You detach. You observe. You realize, traffic doesn't change, but your state of mind does. That's control. Someone insults you, tries to get a reaction. Most people argue, defend, and explode. You stand still. Calm. Because you understand, their words are a test. You don't fail tests anymore. That's power. That's a command. People think strength is about how loud you can shout. It's not. Strength is how calm you can stay when everything burns around you. It's not about looking fearless. It's about being unshaken. It's not about never feeling. It's about never surrendering to what you feel. Control the mind. Command the moment. You train this daily. In small things first. When the alarm rings, don't hit snooze. When your phone tempts you, don't scroll. When your ego screams to argue, stay silent. Each moment of discipline builds another layer of armor around your mind. That's how warriors are made, not in noise, but in stillness. You have to understand, your emotions are wild horses. Your job is not to kill them, your job is to tame them. The reins are discipline. The saddle is awareness. If you hold on long enough, those wild horses will carry you further than anyone else. But let go of the reins, and you'll crash. That's what's happening to most people today. They've lost the reins. They let emotions drive decisions, relationships, and identity. They mistake impulses for intuition. Stop that. Start mastering it. Because the one who can't control his mind will never control his destiny. Control doesn't mean suppression. It means direction. It means you decide when to move and when to stay still. You decide what deserves your energy and what doesn't. You decide which thoughts get attention and which get silence. That's the ultimate freedom. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from panic. Freedom from emotional slavery. Control the mind. Command the moment. Now listen, mastery takes time. You will fail. You will slip. You will react sometimes. But each time you do, remember, that's another opportunity to reclaim control. You breathe. You reset. You try again. Because control is not built overnight. It's built in every second you resist the old version of yourself. The version that reacts. The version that blames. The version that needs to prove something. Kill that version. Replace it with awareness. Replace it with control. That's evolution. You don't need to meditate for hours to find control. You just need to stay conscious. Conscious when you speak. Conscious when you act. Conscious when your emotions start to rise. Control is awareness plus discipline. That's the formula. That's the practice. And every time you choose awareness over reaction, you win. You win against laziness. You win against anger. You win against weakness. Control the mind. Command the moment. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your emotional control. That's why you see talented people fail, because their emotions run the show. They have skill but no command. Drive but no direction. Fire but no focus. Don't be that person. Be the one who leads himself before trying to lead others. Because control isn't about others, it's about you. And if you can control yourself, nobody can break you. You have a choice right now. Let your emotions run your life, or master them. Let chaos rule you, or become unshakable. Every day, the world will test your control. Your job is to pass. Breathe. Observe. Execute. No panic. No noise. No weakness. Control the mind. Command the moment. Because once you can command the moment, you can command your life. You've learned the first rule. Control your mind, or it will control you. Now that you've built awareness of your inner power, it's time to take it further. Because control means nothing without precision. Reaction destroys everything you've built. You mastered your emotions. Now, let's talk about mastery in motion. Chapter 2. Stop reacting. Start responding. Reaction is weakness. Response is a strategy. Remember that line. Live by it. Because it separates the impulsive from the powerful. When you react, you give control away. When you respond, you take it back. That's the difference between chaos and command. That's the difference between emotional slaves and mental warriors. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. Most people live in reaction. Something happens, they snap. Someone offends them, they explode. A setback hits, they crumble. They don't think. They don't pause. They react. And then they spend hours, days, even years cleaning up the damage caused by a few seconds of emotional impulse. That's a weakness. That's emotional chaos disguised as honesty. I'm just expressing myself, they say. No, you're just undisciplined. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. Let me give you a contrast. There are two types of people in this world. The first, the impulsive one. They're quick to anger, quick to defend, quick to post, quick to respond. Their energy is chaotic. Their emotions rule them. They fight battles that don't matter. They argue online. They ruin relationships. They destroy opportunities because they can't control their tongue or their tone. They think movement means progress. But they're just spinning in emotional circles. Then there's the second type, the calm strategist. They observe before they speak. They assess before they act. They know the battlefield before they move a muscle. They respond, not react. And because of that, they win silently. While the emotional one is busy proving, the strategist is busy executing. While the impulsive one is shouting, the strategist is learning. While the reactive one burns bridges, the calm one builds empires. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. Your reaction is your reputation. People judge you not by your words, but by your composure. You can lose years of credibility in a single outburst. You can destroy trust in one emotional moment. That's why mastery of reaction is the mark of true strength. Anyone can react, but only the disciplined can respond. You can't think when you're drowning in emotion. You can't plan when you're fueled by rage. You can't see clearly when your ego is in control. That's why you must slow down. Because control lives in the pause. The pause between stimulus and action. That's where power exists. That's where clarity is born. That's where transformation happens. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. Let's make it real. Imagine a leader facing betrayal from his team. The emotional leader reacts, fires people, shouts, blames, burns the house down. The strategic leader pauses, analyses, identifies, adjusts, and moves forward. One creates destruction. The other creates direction. Or take a relationship example. The reactive partner argues, attacks, and defends. The responding partner listens, breathes, and decides whether it's worth engaging. Who wins? The one who maintains composure. Because composure is power. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. You can't master life until you master the pause. You can't master leadership until you master your emotions. Reaction is for amateurs. Response is for professionals. It's not about being passive, it's about being precise. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being in control of emotion. The world respects those who move with purpose. Not noise. Not speed. Purpose. That's the key. Here's a truth most people ignore. The more emotional the situation, the more you must slow down. Because chaos feeds on your reaction. Anger wants you impulsive. Fear wants you paralyzed. Ego wants you loud. Don't feed them. Starve them with silence. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. When you slow down, you become dangerous. Because now, your moves are deliberate. Now, your actions are sharp. Now your control is visible, and people feel it. Think of the best negotiators, the best commanders, the best thinkers. They don't rush. They don't flinch. They let the noise pass. They let the fools reveal themselves. Then they act with surgical precision. That's emotional mastery. That's response over reaction. You want to be respected? Control your reactions. You want to be feared? Respond with a calculation. You want to be unstoppable? Think before you move. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. Your power is in your ability to choose. To choose when to engage. To choose when to speak. To choose when to walk away. Every choice is a declaration of self-control. Every pause is a moment of power reclaimed. Don't let your impulses write your story. Let your awareness write it instead. Because once you learn to respond, not react, the world slows down for you. The noise fades. And you start operating on a higher level. That's when you become unshakable. Understand something. The strongest people don't respond to everything. They don't attend every argument they're invited to. They don't fight every battle that crosses their path. Why? Because not everything deserves a reaction. Most things deserve silence. Silence is not weakness, it's strategy. Patience is not inaction, it's control. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. You are not required to respond instantly. You are not obligated to explain yourself. You are not defined by how loud you can react. You are defined by how calmly you can respond. Every emotional situation is a test. Every test asks the same question: are you in control, or are you controlled? Your answer is always in the pause. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. Start practicing today. When someone annoys you, pause. When plans fall apart, breathe. When life throws chaos at you, decide. Then move with purpose. That's how warriors move. That's how leaders think. That's how calm becomes power. The reactive mind lives in chaos. The responsive mind lives in clarity. Reaction is noise. Response is music. The reaction is panic. Response is precision. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. Every moment of control builds emotional armor. Every pause adds a layer of wisdom. Every calm response strengthens your foundation. You don't need to outshout anyone. You just need to outlast them. Because emotional control always wins, not immediately, but inevitably. So remember this: you can't think when you're drowning in emotion. You can't lead when you're lost in reaction. Power is born in silence. Clarity is born in stillness. Victory is born in patience. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Then move. That's how you transform from impulsive to intentional. That's how you go from weak to wise. That's how you win, quietly, deliberately, completely. You've learned to stop reacting and start responding. You've seen the power that lives in the pause. But mastery doesn't happen in one moment. It happens every day, in every small choice. Because discipline isn't built in battle, it's built in routine. You conquered reaction. Now it's time to build consistency. Chapter 3. Emotional discipline is a daily rehearsal. Everyone wants control when it matters most. In the argument. In the crisis. In the storm. But here's the truth: if you didn't build discipline before the storm, you won't find it during it. Discipline isn't born in big moments. It's forged in small, unseen choices. It's built in silence, when no one's watching. Every day is rehearsal. Every choice is training. Every small decision is a vote for who you're becoming. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your training. That's why emotional discipline is not a switch you flip on. It's a muscle you build through repetition. The soldier doesn't stay calm under fire by accident. The athlete doesn't perform under pressure by luck. The monk doesn't remain centered through chaos by magic. They all train for it. They all rehearse it. Day after day. Choice after choice. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. Look at your day. How do you wake? How you eat? How you respond when things don't go your way? That's your training ground. That's where your emotional control is tested, not on a battlefield, but in the moments you think don't matter. When the alarm rings and you hit snooze, you're practicing surrender. When you get up anyway, you're practicing discipline. When you skip your workout because you don't feel like it, you're teaching your emotions that they're the boss. When you train anyway, you're teaching your mind it commands the body. Every moment trains one of two things: your control or your weakness. You choose which one grows. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. Understand something: emotional discipline is not about being rigid. It's about being reliable. It's about knowing that your actions don't change just because your emotions do. You don't need to feel motivated to stay consistent. You don't need to feel calm to stay composed. You don't need to feel ready to move forward. That's what separates disciplined minds from emotional ones: action without permission. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. The structure you build is the cage that protects you from chaos. Your habits are your armor. Your routines are your weapons. When life hits hard, you don't think, you execute. Because you've rehearsed it. You've lived it. The mind loves structure. The weak mind loves excuses. Choose structure. Wake early. Train even when tired. Eat clean when tempted. Work focused when distracted. That's not about fitness. That's about command. That's emotional discipline disguised as lifestyle. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. You see, control isn't built in meditation retreats or motivational speeches. It's built in ordinary mornings. It's built when you choose stillness over scrolling. It's built when you say no to comfort and yes to challenge. Every time you stay composed in the small things, you prepare for the big ones. Every small act of order creates internal strength. Because control is cumulative. It compounds. You can't fake it under fire if you didn't train for it in peace. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. Think about it. When chaos strikes, your body doesn't ask what you want to do. It executes what it's trained to do. That's why the disciplined win. Because their response is rehearsed. Their calm is conditioned. Their mind knows the rhythm. Breathe, think, act. No panic. No hesitation. Just execution. The emotional crumble. The disciplined adapt. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. Here's what weak people never understand. Emotional discipline is not about suppressing feelings. It's about training how you handle them. When frustration hits, you breathe. Not because it feels good, but because you've practiced it. When temptation comes, you resist. Not because it's easy, but because it's your rule. When chaos calls, you stay calm. Not because you're special, but because you're structured. Structure breeds calm. Structure breeds focus. Structure breeds power. No emotion can shake a man who built order into his life. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. You think discipline is boring? Good. Let it be boring. Because boredom is the birthplace of mastery. The ones chasing excitement lose consistency. The ones chasing control gain strength. You don't need to feel inspired. You just need to show up, every single day. That's the rehearsal. That's the grind nobody sees. That's what makes you unshakable when it counts. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. Your mind learns through repetition. It becomes what you repeat. Repeat stillness, you become calm. Repeat focus, you become sharp. Repeat chaos, you become reactive. So train what you want to become. Train calmly under pressure. Train control under stress. Train consistency under fatigue. Because in life, pressure reveals preparation. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. Remember, your habits are a reflection of your emotional state. If your day is filled with distractions, your mind is scattered. If your routines are solid, your emotions are stable. You can't build emotional control in an undisciplined life. And you can't build discipline in a chaotic mind. Both grow together. Structure outside, stability inside. Wake up early, not to be productive, but to be in control. Eat clean, not for looks, but for order. Train not for strength, but for resilience. Say no not for ego, but for focus. Every act of discipline builds emotional muscle. Every refusal of temptation builds power. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. You can't fake discipline. You can't pretend to be composed. It's either trained or it's not. And if you don't train it, chaos will expose you. Because under pressure, the truth of your habits will surface. So build them now. Brick by brick. Day by day. The mind loves repetition. Feed it the right repetitions. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. This is how warriors are built. Not in grand moments, in ordinary ones. Not in chaos, in routine. Not in the crowd, in solitude. Your mind is a machine. Train it. Feed it order. Demand consistency. Because one day, You'll need that composure when everything else falls apart. And in that moment, your training will speak for you. Rehearse control daily. Rehearse composure daily. You've learned to rehearse control. To live with discipline, not as a mood, but as a mission. But even disciplined minds get dragged into noise. Drama, chaos, emotional wars that steal peace and drain focus. The next step of mastery? Learning to step back. Learning to detach. You've built a structure. Now it's time to protect it. Chapter 4. Detach from drama. Choose peace over chaos. Some people can't live without noise. They crave conflict. They feed off arguments. They mistake chaos for life. They think constant drama means they're in the moment. No, it means they're trapped in emotional survival mode. You have to rise above that. You have to learn to detach, without guilt. Because peace isn't weakness. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. Look around you. Everyone's shouting. Everyone's offended. Everyone's desperate to be seen, heard, validated. It's chaos disguised as connection. The loudest rooms are usually the most insecure. The calmest people are usually the most powerful. Your strength isn't proven by how much noise you make. It's proven by how little chaos you allow. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. The weak mind feeds on drama because it gives them identity. They need problems to feel alive. They need enemies to feel important. They need noise to drown out the emptiness inside. But the strong? They operate in silence. They walk away from unnecessary wars. They understand that every argument costs energy better spent building, not battling. You can't grow if you're constantly reacting to noise. You can't evolve if you're always defending yourself. Detach. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't have to fight battles that lead nowhere. Walking away doesn't make you a coward. It makes you a strategist. Because control isn't about domination, it's about direction. You choose where your focus flows. You choose which energies deserve access. And most people? They don't deserve access. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. Let's make it real. Someone tries to drag you into gossip. You smile and walk away. Someone throws a jab at your ego. You breathe and say nothing. Someone posts something about you online. You don't engage. Because your silence is a statement. It says, I'm not playing your game. It says, I'm too focused for foolishness. It says, you can't reach me anymore. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. Most people spend their days tangled in webs of drama that don't even matter. Petty arguments. Pointless rivalries. Empty opinions. They live exhausted, not because life is hard, but because they can't stop feeding chaos. Detach. Pull your energy back. Protect your space like it's sacred, because it is. Your peace is not a reward. It's a requirement. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. Understand this. Detachment isn't running away. It's standing firm without needing to control everything. It's saying, I refuse to let your storm pull me in. It's choosing observation over participation. It's knowing when to stay silent and when to leave entirely. Because not every battle is worth fighting. Not every noise deserves attention. Not every invitation deserves acceptance. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. Weak people chase closure from chaos. They want to fix everyone. They want to explain everything. They want to be understood. But peace comes when you stop needing that. You don't need them to understand. You just need to stay centered. The more you explain, the more you lose energy. The more you engage, the more you lose focus. Silence is not avoidance. It's awareness. It's emotional intelligence. It's strength disguised as stillness. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. There's a reason monks, warriors, and masters all train in solitude, not because they hate people, but because they understand noise weakens awareness. When you remove chaos, your clarity returns. When you remove drama, your energy multiplies. When you remove emotional parasites, your peace expands. You don't grow in noise. You grow in silence. You don't rise through chaos. You rise through calm. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. You must learn to let people go, without resentment, without explanation, without drama. When someone drains your energy, step back. When someone thrives on chaos, cut contact. When someone refuses to grow, don't shrink to meet them. Let them spiral. You stay still. Because your silence is louder than their chaos. Your calm is their confusion. Your detachment is their defeat. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. You can't master your life if you're addicted to reacting. You can't master your energy if you let everyone access it. Set emotional boundaries like gates around a fortress. Let a few people in. And let none disturb your balance. The higher you rise, the quieter your world must become. Because elevation demands isolation. That's not loneliness, that's leadership. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. Here's the truth. Chaos is seductive because it feels alive. Peace feels empty at first, until you realize it's where power regenerates. At first, silence feels strange. At first, distance feels uncomfortable. But soon, it becomes your superpower. You stop chasing validation. You stop reacting to negativity. You start choosing what deserves your attention. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. You'll be tested. The world will try to pull you back into noise, through gossip, arguments, competition, distraction. Don't bite. Don't break. Don't blink. Stay centered. Stay distant. Stay peaceful. That's not weakness. That's emotional control. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. So from today forward, you walk away quicker. You respond more slowly. You protect your peace like gold. Because once you taste peace, chaos loses its flavor. Once you feel calm, drama feels cheap. And once you master detachment, you become untouchable. Peace is power. Distance is dominance. You've learned to detach. To protect your peace from the noise of weak minds and chaotic hearts. But there's one more trap you must kill to stay free, the craving for validation. Because as long as you need applause, you're still chained. You've silenced the world. Now it's time to silence the need to be seen. Chapter 5. Kill the need for validation. Every time you seek approval, you weaken your foundation. Every time you beg to be understood, you surrender your power. Every time you crave validation, you give away control. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to explain your choices. You don't need permission to move. Because the man who moves in silence commands more respect than the one begging for attention. Move without permission. Act without applause. Validation is a drug. The more you chase it, the weaker you become. You start living for others instead of yourself. You start performing instead of progressing. You post to be seen. You talk to be praised. You move to impress. But deep down you're empty, because your worth depends on reactions. And the truth is, no reaction will ever be enough. Move without permission. Act without applause. They told you confidence means being liked. They lied. Confidence means not caring if you're liked at all. Because true power is silent. It doesn't beg. It doesn't seek. It simply is. You don't need to announce your moves. You don't need to broadcast your grind. You don't need to prove your progress. Your results will speak. Your discipline will show. Your silence will echo louder than any words. Move without permission. Act without applause. The modern world feeds on validation. Likes. Comments. Views. Digital applause for digital lives. But here's the truth. The world's approval means nothing if you don't approve of yourself. Because the moment you need likes to feel worthy, you've already lost yourself. Validation is dependency dressed as confidence. It's weakness disguised as ambition. It's fear pretending to be a connection. Move without permission. Act without applause. The strongest people don't talk much. They move in silence, because they don't need to prove anything. They let their work speak. They let their presence command. They let their energy do the talking. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. The one who doesn't need attention, that's the real authority. Because power that needs to be seen isn't power at all. Move without permission. Act without applause. When you stop seeking validation, you become dangerous. Because no one can manipulate you with praise. No one can control you with attention. No one can stop you from rejection. You move freely. You act fearlessly. You rise silently. Approval becomes irrelevant. You're not here to please, you're here to build. Move without permission. Act without applause. Understand this. The desire for validation is rooted in fear. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being unseen. Fear of not being enough. But you are enough, the moment you decide you are. Your worth doesn't come from their applause. It comes from your alignment with your purpose. You can't chase greatness and approval at the same time. You must choose. Move without permission. Act without applause. You'll lose people when you stop performing. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're cold. They'll say you think you're better. Ignore them. You're not better, you're freer. They're addicted to external validation. You're addicted to internal peace. They chase attention. You chase growth. They perform for the crowd. You perform for the mission. Move without permission. Act without applause. Here's the paradox. When you stop chasing validation, people start validating you more. Because silence creates mystery. Confidence creates presence. And independence creates magnetism. You don't demand respect, you command it. Not by talking, but by being. The quiet man focused on his path is more feared than the loud man lost in ego. Move without permission. Act without applause. Stop explaining yourself. Stop proving yourself. Stop waiting for someone to tell you you're doing it right. You already know what's right for you. You already know what's aligned with your path. So move. Build. Create. Execute. Without asking. Without announcing. Without seeking. Move without permission. Act without applause. The truth is, validation will never satisfy you. Because once you get it, you'll need it again. It's an endless loop of insecurity disguised as motivation. You'll do more to impress. You'll achieve more to be seen. You'll keep climbing a ladder that leads nowhere. Until one day you realize, the only person you ever needed approval from was yourself. Move without permission. Act without applause. Silence is the ultimate statement. It says, I'm focused. It says, I'm not available for opinions. It says, I don't need your validation to move forward. The more you evolve, the quieter you become. Because real confidence doesn't scream, it simply exists. Move without permission. Act without applause. Here's your new code. Don't announce the plan. Don't justify the grind. Don't explain the vision. Just work. Just move. Just become. Because when your results arrive, they'll speak for themselves. And those who doubted you will have no words left. Move without permission. Act without applause. You've silenced the need for approval. You've learned to move alone, without the noise of validation. But the next level of power doesn't come from silence. It comes from surviving the storm. Because strength isn't built in peace, it's forged in pain. You don't grow in comfort. You grow in fire. Chapter 6. Pain is the training ground of power. Pain is not your enemy, it's your initiation. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Pain is the test that separates the weak from the disciplined. You want to be strong? Then stop running from discomfort. Stop avoiding struggle. Stop worshiping comfort like it's safety. Because comfort is not safety. Comfort is decay. Comfort is where dreams die quietly. Pain is the training ground of power. Endure. Adapt. Rise. Look around you. Every warrior, every athlete, every leader you admire, they were sharpened through pain. They weren't made in soft places. They were made in storms, under pressure, in chaos. They didn't just survive, they evolved. Pain shaped them. Pain refined them. Pain forged them into something unbreakable. That's the key. Pain builds what comfort destroys. Endure. Adapt. Rise. When you feel pain, your first instinct is to escape. You distract yourself. You complain. You numb it. But every time you do, you rob yourself of growth. Pain has one purpose: to make you stronger. To expose your limits and dare you to push past them. To show you who you really are when the mask comes off. Pain doesn't break you. It reveals you. Endure. Adapt. Rise. The mind wants comfort. The soul wants expansion. And the two will always fight. The question is, who wins? When you choose comfort, you stagnate. When you choose pain, you evolve. You can't build mental strength scrolling for distraction. You can't develop discipline by living easily. You can't master yourself by running from resistance. You grow through resistance. You rise through adversity. You become powerful through pain. Endure. Adapt. Rise. Pain is the body's teacher. Pain is the mind's mirror. Pain is the soul's fire. Every rep that burns your muscles is teaching you endurance. Every heartbreak that cracks your chest is teaching you patience. Every failure that crushes your ego is teaching you humility. Pain doesn't take, it trades. It trades comfort for character. It trades ease for evolution. It trades your old self for the stronger version waiting underneath. Endure. Adapt. Rise. Most people fear pain because they misunderstand it. They think it means something is wrong. But real pain, the kind that builds, means you're changing. Growth hurts. Always. That's the law of transformation. The seed has to break before it becomes a tree. The muscle has to tear before it becomes strong. The ego has to die before the mind becomes wise. Everything powerful is born through struggle. You're no different. Endure. Adapt. Rise. Pain will visit everyone, but only a few invite it in. Only a few understand it's not the enemy. It's the gateway. You can cry, you can scream, but never quit. Pain doesn't last forever. But the strength it leaves behind, that stays for life. Every struggle you survive becomes a layer of armor. Every wound you heal becomes a source of wisdom. Every setback you face becomes fuel. Endure. Adapt. Rise. There's a reason warriors train in suffering. There's a reason they run toward what others avoid. They know something most don't. Comfort makes you soft. Pain makes you sharp. The soldier trains in the rain. The boxer bleeds in silence. The leader endures criticism, failure, isolation, and keeps going. They don't run from pain. They use it. Endure. Adapt. Rise. Pain gives you power when you stop resisting it. The moment you stop asking why me, and start saying try me, you shift from victim to victor. You stop identifying with suffering and start mastering it. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. You stop running and start rising. The pain you feel today becomes your weapon tomorrow. The struggle you endure becomes your story of strength. Endure. Adapt. Rise. Let pain refine you, not define you. Don't let it make you bitter. Let it make you better. Because pain can be poison or it can be power. It depends on how you use it. Channel it. Learn from it. Transmute it into focus, into drive, into purpose. You can turn heartbreak into hunger. You can turn failure into fire. You can turn pain into progress. That's how warriors are built. Endure. Adapt. Rise. There's no comfort in greatness. No ease in evolution. Every version of your future self is hidden behind a wall of pain, and you must break through it. That's the toll you pay for power. That's the cost of transformation. You can't skip the suffering and expect the strength. You can't dodge the storm and expect the calm. You can't stay soft and expect to be strong. The pain you avoid is the power you forfeit. Endure. Adapt. Rise. Pain humbles you. It strips away arrogance. It teaches you gratitude. It reminds you that you're human, but it also shows you how much more you can handle than you ever imagined. You thought you couldn't survive heartbreak, and yet here you are. You thought you'd never recover from failure, and yet you rose again. You thought you'd break, but you didn't. You endured. You adapted. You rose. So the next time pain shows up, don't run. Don't numb it. Don't drown it. Don't hide. Face it. Feel it. Fight through it. Because every drop of pain you endure becomes proof of your power. Every scar becomes a signature of survival. Pain doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're leveling up. Endure. Adapt. Rise. You've faced the pain. You've endured the fire. You've learned that strength is not in avoiding the struggle, but in mastering it. Now it's time to wield your next weapon, one that most people overlook. Not force. Not words. But silence. Because silence, when mastered, isn't weakness. It's dominance. Chapter 7. Silence is a weapon. The loud are insecure. The silent are dangerous. The man who speaks less thinks more. The man who pauses holds power. The man who listens wins. Silence isn't emptiness. It's control. It's a strategy. It's strength disguised as stillness. Say less. See more. Win quietly. Weak minds fill space with noise. Strong minds fill silence with meaning. People think silence is weakness. They think it means you have nothing to say. But silence doesn't mean nothing is happening. It means everything is happening. Inside. Quietly. Deliberately. Silence is where focus is born. Silence is where power gathers. Silence is where clarity forms. Say less. See more. Win quietly. Look at the world's strongest people, the leaders, the strategists, the warriors. They don't yell. They don't need to. Their calm presence commands the room. The negotiator who says nothing gains leverage. The thinker who observes learns everything. The leader who listens earns respect. Because silence unsettles the loud. It makes them reveal their intentions. It exposes their weakness. While you, calm, still, unreadable, hold the advantage. Say less. See more. Win quietly. Silence is not absence. It's awareness. When you stop talking, you start noticing. You see what others miss. You feel what others ignore. You understand what others rush past. Most people talk to fill the void. But the void is where wisdom lives. When you sit in silence long enough, you start hearing your true thoughts, the ones buried under noise, validation, and distraction. You begin to see patterns. You begin to understand yourself. You begin to control your reactions. Say less. See more. Win quietly. Silence is discipline. Because it's easier to talk than to think. Easier to react than to observe. Easier to shout than to understand. But the disciplined stay quiet. They watch. They process. They strike with precision, not emotion. A loud response may feel powerful, but it's emotional. A quiet response is strategic, it's controlled. You don't win by being louder. You win by being smarter. Say less. See more. Win quietly. When you speak too soon, you reveal your hand. When you speak too often, you drain your power. When you speak for approval, you give away control. Your words should be like bullets, rare, sharp, deliberate. Not wasted. Not scattered. Not impulsive. When you master silence, every word you do speak carries weight. People listen. Because you've trained them to. Say less. See more. Win quietly. In silence, you learn who you are. In silence, you build inner gravity, that unshakable pull that draws people without effort. You don't need to shout your worth. You don't need to advertise your confidence. You simply embody it. Because when your energy speaks, words become unnecessary. That's real power. Say less. See more. Win quietly. Here's what most don't realize. Silence is not passive, it's active. It's a tool, a weapon, a shield. When you go silent after being provoked, you show mastery. When you withhold your opinion until you've thought, you show wisdom. When you stay calm while others panic, you show control. You don't need to prove your dominance through volume. Your restraint proves it for you. Say less. See more. Win quietly. The loud chase validation. The silent chase truth. The loud need attention to feel alive. The silent already know who they are. You can't intimidate someone who's silent, because you can't read them. You can't manipulate them, because they reveal nothing. You can't control them, because they're already in control of themselves. That's what makes silence dangerous. Say less. See more. Win quietly. When you go quiet, people notice. They start to wonder what you're thinking. They start to question their own position. Your silence becomes their discomfort. And in that space, you gain leverage. Because the one who speaks first loses power. The one who stays silent directs the pace. Silence is patience in action. It's emotional control made visible. Say less. See more. Win quietly. Don't confuse silence with weakness. Silence doesn't mean surrender. It means you've chosen your battlefield wisely. You're not avoiding confrontation. You're mastering it. You're deciding when to act, how to act, and if it's even worth your energy. Most battles are won before they begin, in the silence of strategy. Say less. See more. Win quietly. The modern world fears silence because it exposes truth. We drown in noise to avoid facing ourselves. But growth demands stillness. Sit alone in silence, and you'll meet your real self, your fears, your thoughts, your direction. It's uncomfortable, yes. But it's also liberating. Because silence doesn't just give you control over conversations. It gives you control over your mind. Say less. See more. Win quietly. So train your silence. Use it to listen deeper. Use it to think clearly. Use it to move smarter. Speak only when your words are stronger than your silence. And when you do speak, let every word hit with precision, because it's backed by thought, not impulse. Say less. See more. Win quietly. You've mastered the art of silence, control without noise, power without announcement. But silence is only half the battle. The next step is harder. It's about what happens inside. Because silence on the outside means nothing if you're still running on the inside. You can't escape your emotions forever. You must face them, head on. Chapter 8. Stop escaping. Face your emotions head on. Most people spend their lives running. Running from discomfort. Running from failure. Running from the truth of their own emotions. Distraction is the modern weakness. Scrolling endlessly. Drowning in substances. Filling every quiet moment with noise. They pretend they're busy, but they're hiding. They pretend they're productive, but they're avoiding themselves. You can't run forever. The moment catches up. The pain returns. The emotions demand attention. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. Emotions are energy. Uncontrolled, they destroy. But harnessed, they empower. Anger, fear, sadness, these are not enemies. They are signals. They are raw materials. They are fuel for transformation. The problem is that most people react, instead of processing. They swipe, scroll, drink, or distract, hoping the feeling disappears. It doesn't disappear. It waits. It grows. It manifests in mistakes, regrets, and self-sabotage. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. Look at the strongest people you know. They don't run from discomfort. They don't avoid emotion. They confront it, analyze it, and convert it into action. Journaling, solitude, reflection. These are not passive activities, they are weapons. When you write down your thoughts, you structure chaos. When you sit in silence, you build clarity. When you reflect on your choices, you reclaim control. Emotion becomes power when it's directed. It becomes insight when it's examined. It becomes a focus when it's contained. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. Avoidance is a lie you tell yourself. Not now. I'll deal with it later. I just need a distraction. All distractions are temporary. All avoidance is weakness. All denial is a slow self-destruction. The only way to survive, the only way to thrive, is to confront. To meet your emotion head-on. To sit in the fire until you understand it. Face it. Feel it. Focus it. Fear shows up in many forms. It may whisper in your mind. It may paralyze your body. It may push you toward comfort zones. Most people listen. They obey fear. They shrink. They settle. The strong? They stare fear down. They feel it. They analyze it. They redirect it. Fear becomes fuel. Hurt becomes drive. Anger becomes discipline. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. Emotions are like waves. You can either drown in them or ride them. The weak flail. They fight. They resist. They let the current drag them under. The strong breathe. They observe. They ride. They harness the energy to move forward. Every raw emotion carries potential. Untamed, it destroys. Tamed, it creates. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. Modern society teaches avoidance. Keep scrolling. Keep numbing. Keep entertaining. Avoid reflection. Avoid solitude. Avoid yourself. But solitude is a battlefield. Journaling is a sword. Reflection is armor. When you face yourself, you reclaim your mind. When you feel the depth of your emotion, you reclaim your power. When you focus it into action, you reclaim your life. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. Pain, guilt, frustration, and anxiety, all emotions are neutral. They only become destructive when ignored. Feel them fully. Sit with them. Analyze them. Channel them into structure, into strategy, into action. The weak escape. The disciplined convert. The powerful direct. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. The world will try to distract you. Endless noise. Endless content. Endless chaos. Do not give in. Do not hide. Do not numb. Sit. Think. Feel. And direct. The rawness of your emotion is your untapped energy. Do not waste it. Do not misplace it. Do not ignore it. Harness it. Shape it. Deploy it. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. When you practice this daily, your mind becomes a weapon. Your focus becomes unbreakable. Your energy becomes unstoppable. Distraction loses its hold. Noise becomes irrelevant. The external chaos cannot shake the internal calm. Because you have learned to confront, to feel, to control. You have learned that emotions are allies, not enemies. Face it. Feel it. Focus it. This is how the strongest operate. Not by avoiding pain. Not by hiding from emotion. Not by chasing comfort. They stare it down. They process it. They use it. Every challenge is fuel. Every disappointment is insight. Every fear is a spark. Face it. Feel it. Focus on it. You've stopped running. You've faced your emotions, felt them fully, and learned to direct them. But even controlled emotions fail without one more layer of defense. Focus. Absolute, unshakable focus. Your mind is under constant attack. Distraction, noise, energy vampires, all trying to steal it. The next step? Build a fortress around your focus. Chapter 9. Build a fortress around your focus. Focus is fragile, easily broken, easily stolen. Every ping, every notification, every interruption chips away at your power. Every moment of divided attention is a moment of lost dominance. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Because the life you want, the results, the strength, the mastery, depends on it. Focus is not optional. It is survival. Look around. Most people drift. They let their environment dictate their mind. They let others steal their attention. They react instead of being direct. Distractions are everywhere. Screens, social media, toxic energy, pointless chatter. Every one of them erodes your control. You must build walls. You must set boundaries. You must defend your mind like a fortress. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Start with your environment. Control it. Shape it. Own it. No interruption zones. Phones silent. Emails checked on schedule. Noise minimized. If the world refuses to accommodate your power, you accommodate yourself. You remove what doesn't serve your clarity. You cut off what drains your energy. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Energy vampires exist. They thrive on distraction. They pull you into chaos. They want your mind scattered. Distance yourself. Limit exposure. Stop reacting to people who do not respect your mental space. Your attention is currency. Spend it wisely. Invest it in growth, not gossip. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Focus is not just about what you do. It's also about what you don't do. You cannot focus while multitasking. You cannot dominate while dividing attention. You cannot grow while scattered. Every yes you give to distraction is a no to progress. Every compromise of attention is a theft of your power. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Create rituals that reinforce focus. Morning routines. Deep work blocks. Reflection periods. Make your mind a temple, not a playground. Make concentration a habit, not a hope. Make discipline non-negotiable. Your environment becomes an extension of your will. If you control the space, you control the mind. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Beware of internal distractions. Doubt, anxiety, fear, procrastination. These are invisible thieves. You must train your mind to resist them. Meditate, journal, plan, reflect. Turn chaos inside into structure outside. Focus is not just defense against the world, it's control over yourself. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. The world wants you scattered. Your peers want your attention. Your devices want your time. Your mind wants comfort. Do not surrender. Do not fragment. Do not compromise. Focus is a fortress. You are the commander. No one enters without permission. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Deep work is a battlefield. It requires endurance, discipline, and boundaries. When you enter this space, defend it ruthlessly. Turn off notifications. Close irrelevant tabs. Ignore the noise. This is where mastery is built. This is where skill becomes power. This is where quiet dominance grows. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Your energy follows your attention. Where focus goes, power flows. If you allow your mind to wander, your strength wanders. If you let interruptions in, your results leak out. If you surrender to distraction, you surrender yourself. No one will protect your focus for you. No one will value your time like you do. You are responsible. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. The stronger you become, the more others will try to pull you away. They will demand your attention. They will crave your energy. They will attempt to scatter your mind. Do not give in. Do not break. Do not yield. Fortify. Prioritize. Control. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Focus is the currency of the high performer. It is the weapon of the disciplined. It is the soil in which greatness grows. Without it, talent is wasted. Without it, action is weak. Without it, potential is meaningless. Your mind is a fortress. Your attention is your army. Your discipline is the wall. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. Every day, protect it. Every hour, reinforce it. Every minute, defend it. Because what you guard grows. What you protect multiplies. What you defend becomes unstoppable. Distraction is weakness. Control is power. Focus is dominance. Protect your focus. Guard your gates. You've built the fortress. You've trained your mind. You've defended your attention. But a fortress alone is not enough. The final form of strength lies in calm, the unshakable core that holds through chaos, pressure, and challenge. Calm is power. Calm is control. Calm is untouchable. Chapter 10. Calm is the final form of strength. The world mistakes calm for weakness. It sees stillness and assumes nothing is happening. It sees quiet and assumes fear. It's wrong. Calm is not passive. Calm is not empty. Calm is controlled power. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Look at the samurai. They do not panic in battle. They do not flinch under threat. Every move is deliberate, precise, deadly. The monk sits in meditation while the storm rages. The world may crash around them, but their center is unshaken. The CEO negotiates deals that could make or break empires, and does so without raising their voice. Calm is their secret weapon. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Calm is the pinnacle of control. All the training you've done, emotional mastery, silence, focus, endurance, leads here. Because when you are calm, chaos cannot touch you. When you are calm, provocation becomes powerless. When you are calm, you think, act, and win, without distraction, without ego, without desperation. The world is loud, frantic, and impulsive. The calm move like shadows, untouchable, unstoppable. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Calm is not born, it is earned. It is forged in struggle, discipline, and self-mastery. It is trained in early mornings, in silence, in controlled reactions. It is the reward of patience, practice, and persistence. Every time you resisted the impulse to react. Every time you faced pain without fleeing. Every time you protected your focus and controlled your mind, you built this calm. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. The world's chaos is a test. It will push you. It will provoke you. It will try to break you. But the calm are unshaken. They do not fight every battle. They do not argue every point. They do not react to every insult. They conserve energy. They calculate moves. They win quietly, deliberately, and completely. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Calm is strength because it gives clarity. A mind in panic sees only a threat. A mind in fear reacts blindly. A mind in anger destroys itself. But a calm mind sees options. It sees opportunity. It sees leverage. It acts decisively because it is not clouded by emotion. It wins because it is not hurried by impulse. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Calm is contagious. When you move calmly, others reveal themselves. They panic. They make mistakes. They show weakness. When you hold composure, you command the room. You lead without speaking. You dominate without fighting. Calm is authority disguised as silence. It is power hidden in stillness. It is the mastery of self made visible. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Calm is preparation for the inevitable storm. Life will hit. Challenges will arrive. Pressure will mount. The world tests everyone. The difference between failure and victory is calmness under fire. A calm person sees clearly, while the frantic flails. A calm person plans, while the impulsive acts. A calm person rises while the emotional falls. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Calm does not mean absence of feeling. It means mastery of feeling. It means controlling the storm inside while the storm outside rages. It means using emotion as fuel, not letting it dictate action. It means facing fear without hesitation. It means moving through chaos with precision. The strongest are not loud. They are not reactive. They are composed. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Calm is the final form of strength because it integrates all you've learned. Emotional control. Silence. Focus. Endurance. Detachment. All of it culminates here, in the unshakable calm that allows you to act with clarity, purpose, and absolute power. The world can rage. It can scream. It can demand. It can provoke. You remain unshaken. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Your calm is your armor. Your calm is your weapon. Your calm is your advantage in a world addicted to chaos. No one can take it from you. No one can distract it. No one can weaken it unless you allow them to. Train it. Guard it. Expand it. Let it guide your actions, sharpen your focus, and steady your mind. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. And when you master calm, everything else becomes effortless. Your decisions are sharper. Your presence is heavier. Your life is controlled. You have arrived at the ultimate power, the power that no one can see coming, the power that cannot be stolen, the power that endures. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. Conclusion: this is the final lesson. Control your mind. Master your emotions. Detach from chaos. Move without validation. Endure pain. Harness silence. Face your emotions. Protect your focus. And above all, remain calm. Calm is strength. Calm is power. Calm is freedom. Be calm. Be grounded. Be untouchable. This concludes the audiobook. Take these lessons, repeat them, live them, and watch yourself transform. You are no longer reactive. You are no longer weak. You are disciplined, focused, and powerful. Your mind is your fortress. Your calm is your crown. Your life is yours to command.